So here we are at the first race of, or first of my races of the 2023 season, and I'm starting with my qualification lap. On the Friday I'd had a day of testing, and it went okay, and I improved my times a bit on last year, but it wasn't quite the step forward that I'd hoped for. And so when I came into this qualification, I was wondering just what I'd be able to achieve. One of the problems was that this was a 49 car race, so there were an awful lot of cars on the track, and I had to keep backing off and finding space to put in a good lap. I'd done one early banker lap, which was the 1:17.33 that you see there. But I was determined to do something sub 1:17. I had done a 1:16.9 something in the testing, so I knew I could do better than this. So this is my fastest lap. It went okay actually. I was quite happy with it. I've exited there. Luffield has come out just at about the right place. I still think I can find more time around this circuit, but yeah, this was my best that I could achieve this weekend. After this, I'd actually done this lap on very low level of fuel, which I did intentionally, so this basically now is my in lap. So we'll cut away from this and then move on to the actual race. So here you see us completing this is a rolling start, by the way, and so this is completing what's called the green lap, which is coming up to the start finish again. I should be alongside that silver car on the right. That's how we should go through the lights in formation, and we're just coming up to the start finish gantry now. The lights had gone out, so when all the red lights go out you're racing. So at this point I'm now racing. So I did get a steal on the guy to my right, and I thought things were going well, but we'll see quite quickly things go wrong. So I held out on the left hand side there, which meant I lost speed coming out of that corner, and you can see the result here. That was my first mistake. And now I'm pinned on the outside of all the corners, and you know, you're asking for trouble really. And so again, slow round that corner, which I call Beckett. Some people seem to call that Aintree. I know it is the sort of exit of Aintree for the Grand Prix race, but I think I've seen it labelled as Beckett's. Anyway, I'm pinned right over on the left here, going into Brooklands just here, which means that I can't get round this very quickly, and what's more, I can't get over to the right to get a good run round Luffield, and so now you see the result. So this is all just bad racecraft, really is. I mean, the speed was there in the car. I was able to do reasonably fast laps, but you know, I've lost 3 positions right there just with those 2 mistakes. And I think there were a couple of cars that were out of position that were faster than me, so I probably, not the ones that have gone through now I don't think, but some of the others that go through later, I think I lost positions to them and probably would have anyway. But you know, I shouldn't have been giving away positions like this through these mistakes. Again, here you go, there's another one come through because I'm stuck over on the left hand side. That car, I definitely should, I overtook that car later I think, but that shouldn't have got through, shouldn't have got past me. But there you go. So the first lap or so didn't go too well. This time that's a pretty good line round Beckett's. You can see a lot of mayhem there, swerving around cars. That lost me some speed, and there you go, there goes another one past me because I've lost speed avoiding the accident. So yeah, What are we up to now? 4 cars past me? 5 cars? Not good. Maybe the accident one isn't one I could have avoided really. And this guy in front of me at the moment, I think he was out of position. So it's either Richard Phillips, Richard Lakey, or one of their 2 drivers, both of which were BTCC, ex-British Touring Car Champion drivers. So, you know, if I'm racing against them, then I've got to expect that they're probably going to take me at some point. I don't know who did the first session for them, so I may have got this wrong, but they're the people who would have been in the car. And the 2 Richards are both quite fast, so you know, I think Richard Lakey came second in the race, and Richard Phillips is pretty fast as well. So yeah, so I've lost a lot of positions here. Now this is a point where I've tried a different line round Brooklands here. This was the diagonal line that I've discussed in an earlier video. So the standard line is go deep, stay out wide, and then turn in and take a very late apex. But what some people do is they get to the turn board coming up to Brooklands, then they turn diagonally across the track heading towards the a sort of early apex, and then get the car to rotate by braking or just lifting or whatever, just to get the back to move around. I've tried going straight for the apex and it doesn't work for me at the moment. But the line I had seen people doing was they head just a bit away from the apex and then turn in and take a late apex, and that did work, and I was gaining a lot of time, but I'd sometimes would mess up. And in fact, in practice, I'd had 2 spins trying to do that. So, well, not complete spins, I was sliding completely across to the off the edge of the track. So yeah, and you'll see this time I don't think I do. So I'm going deep and then turn and then get the very late apex just there. Yeah, and then I come out wide there, and so that I can turn in tighter to left field and get a run out without understeering off the edge of the track. Now that exit there was about perfect for me. The only thing I have noticed while I've been watching the video is that I'm putting in an awful lot of steering input for not a lot of turn, particularly round those 2 corners, and so I'm understeering a lot. There's probably not much I can do about that in the car. Look at that, I mean, look at the angle of steering there. But what it does mean is I'm scrubbing off speed, so it'd be better going round the corner slower and then trying to get on the accelerator as quickly as possible after the corner, rather than do what I was doing. That's quite a tight angle. It's a bit difficult to tell whether that's tighter than it should be, or, you know, the steering angle is tighter than it should be or not, but I suspect I'm putting in a lot more steering than ideally I should be. I thought we'd cut to this next one, where I lose yet another position, this time for a different reason. So I needed to be more aware of what's going on, and a car had got up the left hand side of me there, and I couldn't do anything about it unless I was prepared to slam across and, you know, possibly cause an accident. Unfortunately he snuck down that inside of me, and or left hand side. So I don't want to keep beating myself up over all these things, but it's just interesting to watch the mistakes that you make, particularly watching the video later, and you can see where you're making mistakes. I did a lot of good things. I mean, this, you know, getting this line round here right, I did fall foul of this later, which I'll show you, taking that sort of line. But, you know, I was placed 28th after quali. I started 25th because I think 3 cars didn't start, and I ended up 22nd. Now this is a point where the silver car that overtook me was obviously going to make a move on the pack in front, and I thought I could take advantage of this. So I thought if I get right up the back of these guys, I might be able to run around the outside of them and then undercut them through Luffield. But I got a bit too ambitious, and you'll see the result here. Yeah, not good. He did well to avoid me. Yeah, so there you go. I've lost 2 more places, and those 2 guys that have just gone past me, I overtook them later. So yeah, that was a real shame. So all bad so far, but yeah, it gets better. It gets better. Now the one thing you notice, the best lap time is still in the 1:17s, and that's despite me really having some clear track, quite honestly. So I should have been down in the 1:16s. And in this first session prior to my pit stop, I was running at these sorts of times, 1:17s, which yeah, it's a bit disappointing. I'm now going to take you on to a point after both my pit stops have been completed, and one of the things about this lap counter that you see on the overlay, it resets after every pit stop, which I think I can change that, and I may try and change that, because you sort of lose track of which laps you're on when you're watching the video. Anyway, the interesting thing is that after I came out of after the pit stops, after the certainly after the second pit stop, I started to go faster. Now admittedly, I'd have shed some fuel and what have you. There I go for the diagonal move across the Brooklands. You can see that's gained me quite a lot of time, caught those other guys in front. Anyway, yeah, after the pit stop I started to go faster, which is good. It's just a flipping shame I can't do it from the start. I need to get a grip, really. I need to get on the pace straight away. I seem to be a bit of a slow burner, and despite the fact that it's an endurance race, that doesn't really help you. So now I'm gaining on these guys in front. You'll see this is the car that went around me when I had the moment of Brooklands. So I'm going past that one, and now started to overtake cars. Now admittedly, obviously I'm after the pit stop, so you're going to pick up cars that are slower at different points in the pack, and the cars that did overtake me, I think from this point on, were in the lead pack, so they were lapping me. So just to put it in context, I've just done a 1:16.98, which is a better time, but the guy who won, Matthew, he did a 1:14.5, I think, was his fastest. So they're lapping more than a second faster than I am. Hence the reason you get lapped. But anyway, that was quite good. I've followed this car in front for several laps, but I'll do the diagonal move in this one, and you watch how quickly I catch him. So I'd been doing the wide line round Brooklands before that, and I was basically staying about the same distance behind him. But that diagonal sort of approach across Brooklands can certainly gain you some time, as long as you can keep it neat and tidy around Luffield, so you don't lose time. He looks as though he's come out of Luffield a bit quicker than me, so he is pulling away from me a bit, but you can see I did gain on him. I got a net gain. And then on the next lap I'm obviously very close, and I'll pull alongside him going into Brooklands, and then just outbrake him. And then we can, I can take it easy round here, because I know he's now behind me, so I can not do anything stupid going around Luffield, even though I'm probably going slower than I normally would. And that keeps him behind, and he can't gain the speed to get past me. So that got that one done. Okay, this is where I think I make another mistake here. So I'm going diagonally across the track, catch this guy. I decide I'm going to go outside of him and then cut back across as we go through Luffield, but I wasn't paying attention, and now there's a guy on my right hand side and I couldn't pull across, and you know, this is going to cost me. I should have been more patient. I should have kept an eye on what was going on behind me, and there you go, I'm losing 2 places again. Yeah, that was bad. There are points in the race where things got very busy, and this is one of them. Becomes a bit of a choke point. I think that's Louis Woodward going down the outside, so he would have been top 5, lapping all of us. Now I've got pushed out wide, I got thumped, and now we've got, you know, I'm losing positions again. Because I came out of that corner so slowly that they've all just gone breezing past me. That's the car that I thought was going to overtake me at Copse but didn't. Yeah, wow, look at this lot. Some of these are in the lead pack, so it's a real mishmash of cars. You can see that orange one on the right, the Team Hamster car, that's the one I passed earlier. Yeah, bit of a mess, but yeah, it's all racing, isn't it, you know. There was always someone to race with, that's one thing, with there being so many cars on the track. So I'm just lining up the Team Hamster car again for an overtake. Again, not paying enough attention in my mirrors, and then there's Richard Lakey, I think that is. He came 7th in the race, all a bit of mayhem there. And Matt Highcock, who won. Actually, he's the guy in the grey car. He's just slipped through as well. Now, I wouldn't have gone faster than them anyway, but that sort of completely messed up my overtake move, and now look how far ahead the orange car has got. It's it's soul destroying sometimes. So this is just at the end of a safety car period, so we're back racing again, or we will be, I think, when we cross the line now. And so you can see the 2 cars in front of me are actually following one of the other 40/40 cars. So you'll see how this plays out. That noise on the audio at this point is just where I opened the window during both windows slightly during the safety car lap, so that I could cool down a bit, and I forgot to wind them back up, but I do eventually wind them up. Quite tricky, isn't he? I think this is Matthew Fayers. I've not raced against him before. You notice their car doesn't have any rear screen or any screens on the right hand side of the car, and that's because during qualification one of the drivers, it wasn't Matthew, it was one of the others, stuck the car into the gravel and it smashed all the windows. Luckily they were able to pull all the glass out, and the scrutineers let them race, which was very good, because it would have been terrible if they hadn't been able to race. Let's look at a few more overtakes. This was an interesting one. Obviously this is another 40/40 car, same team as I'm in, and I'm not sure who's driving this, but I go down the outside of them and they start to try and squeeze me off the edge of the track, which I think he eventually realised I was there and moved over. Now we come to this particular bit where the car in front is another 40/40 supported car, 232, car 232 I think. And the car in front of that is the car that I'm racing, which is the Fox car. Can't remember the number, but it's the silver car just in front of the blue one. And so I desperately wanted to get past this light blue one, but he did a really good job defending, and yeah, it wasn't easy. In fact, this sort of carried on for quite a while, and then the red and gold car, which you see sort of slightly in the distance, that all got involved in it, so we'll see how that plays out as well. So at this point we've had quite a prolonged safety car period. You can see I've got the windows open again, and that's bunched us up, and now we've got the 232 car in front, which is a lap down on me, I think, then the silver car, which is the one I'm trying to get, and then we've got this red and gold car that's got involved, and this sort of messed up my total plan, although I should have taken the opportunity earlier to take the light blue car, but you can see things aren't working out great for me. I could have taken a dive down the inside there, actually. Perhaps I should have braked later. Red and gold car has gone wide, so they're going to get him because he's now lost speed. But unfortunately I'm not close enough. At this point I think I'm going to follow the light blue car through, but as you'll see my plans are scuppered by this car on the right. Now it's a real shame that I lost the position to this car number 34, because I was actually racing him. He was behind me, I think it's Toby, I think his name is, and yeah, I've found him in my previous races he has been faster than me. But obviously I'm out to go for everyone, and his fastest time, I was looking at the timesheets, he's on a very similar pace to me, but I think he's got better race knowledge, and he seems to do a better job of actually getting past people and getting the job done, whereas I seem to, I don't know what I do, I must procrastinate or something, because I get opportunities, but I don't think I'm quite as ruthless as I need to be. I tend to give people quite a lot of space because I don't want to have an accident with them, which is okay, but it's all a matter of judgment. And I think the thing is that Toby has obviously got more experience and he has the judgment. I don't. I still feel I'm a bit inexperienced. So you can see he quite quickly dispatches this car, and now as you'll see as this all unwinds, I spend ages trying to get past this car, which is, you know, I mean at this point I should have just kept my foot in. I don't know what I did there, but I shouldn't have let him get away like that. So yeah, not quite ruthless enough, I don't think. can see the knock-on effect here with me not getting this job done quickly enough, because look how far away the others have got. I was talking to the driver of that car 232 that I just passed after the race, because I did thank him for a really, because he was very clean. He gave me space, and you know, he never really did anything terrible, you know, tried to block me out. He said that he thinks his car's a bit underpowered, and going up that Wellington straight I did seem to be out drag him, and I'm not sure if that was because I got a better exit out of Beckett's, or whether he does have a problem with the car. But anyway, you now see that I'm right up the back of James, I think it is, who is in the blue car, who I've been trying to get past, but it's all too late because that is the end of the race. So yeah, bit of a shame that. Anyway, here's the results. You can see I came 22nd. You can see Toby, yeah, it's Toby O'Reilly, there he is. He's the guy 34 who passed me right towards the end. And you can see the Fox car 220 in front that I didn't manage to catch. Okay, well, I hope you found that entertaining, and I'll certainly do another recording at Brands Hatch. I should thank all the people at 4040 who did a great job supporting me, especially Stuart, who's my race engineer, and it was good fun racing with those guys. So I'll catch you on the next one.